Alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we'll be talking about the visualization chapter in our KNX advanced course. This chapter will have two questions in the theory exam, and in our question bank we'll have 19 questions, and then two questions will come in the exam out of those 19 questions. Visualization, don't jump directly now saying it's a mobile app. Let's go step by step as mentioned by KNX Association, because as you know, KNX Association will have a different way of putting information together. Okay, so as an introduction, visualization is the way that I see my system on a visual way. Okay, maybe a picture, maybe a text on a screen. Okay, like what I can see is the function of a device, the status of a device. I can control it using visual implementation. Okay, so something like that. So some terms I need to know. Visualization, this is a presentation of the status of the device. Okay, so if the lamp is shining, then the let's say the LED is on or the relay is on. If not, then the relay is down, is off, something like that. Okay, this is the visualization. What else I need to know? I need to know the data point type, and we know data point type that each, let's say, interface or each data will have a data point type. One is 1 bit as an example for a relay switch. If I have an absolute dimming, then it's 8 bits. If I have a motion sensor or a sensor, it's 2 bytes. Okay, and I also have a process point, which is the interface between this visualization and the KNX system. So let me give you an example to summarize all this, let's say, difficult way of telling you to make it very simple. So in visualization, I will do this in the practical, inshallah. Let's say you have a sensor which is measuring temperature, okay, or brightness in lux. Let's say brightness. Okay, then I need to implement this on the visualization. So what I need to know, to go to my software visualization, and I say, let's say I have a reader, a label maybe, or a picture, okay, with reading on it. And then this label, this my visualization, I put a data point type because it will ask me what kind of information you put here. So I have to tell it that it will be reading of a sensor, which is 2 bits. It's a float, 2 bytes, sorry. It's a 2 bytes, 16 bit. Okay. And the unit of measuring will be in, if it is brightness, then it be lux. Okay. If it is motion, then it might be meter per second. Okay. Then where can I get the data from? This is the process point. And you'll find out that I get my data mostly from group address. So here I put the group address. Say I say that this one will be pointing to group address 1 by let's say 12. Okay, and this group address is the one where I'm putting the group object of the temperature sensor or motion sensor or brightness sensor. Okay, so this is simply what's being done. Then when this data from the brightness sensor is changing, it will send to the group object. The group object will send to the group address with the read flag on. Then I can read the data because the system is cyclically getting the data, or if the status is that the group object sending a status, then it's coming already to me. Okay, using the status flag, the update flag, the status flag, or using the read flag. Okay, another term, static image like that, no changes, or variable image like those images, or like a lamp or a relay, because it's changing depending on the variables I have. Okay. Some notes also as well. How can I get the data? I can get the data using the read flag or the status flag. So if the device is coming on, it will send the status, which I can read, or I can go and query a specific device using the read flag. Okay, like here, the visualization is querying a group address, and then the group address, I want to make sure that only one group object has a read flag. So it will read the group object data. Otherwise, it will be reading more than one data, or getting one and leaving one, so that the reading will not be very, let's say, very accurate. Okay. So the bus, the visualization is listening to the bus when I have any updates I'm getting. If not, then I am sending a read request, and then getting the data and put it in on my system, and this I can do via cyclical update of status. Okay, the device is sending the status updates, or visualization is pulling the data on a cyclical way, like here. Okay, so here I got the data using the read flag. Okay, Here I got using the read flag, but using, okay, a cyclic reading out the data. Okay, as you can see here, the feedback is coming automatically, so I got it. Here I am sending, or I am querying it on specific periods. Also, some systems will be able to record the data in a database or something like here. So I have the historical changes, or on my maybe an Excel file. Maybe I can print it directly depending on the system you have, maybe in a SQL database, depending on you. Okay, but how can I connect my system to the visualization? You can get a direct connection, or you can get a connection via an OBC server or a gateway, okay, or via an IP interface using an HTML web server. Okay, here using an IP interface, using the IP, okay, routing, and the multitask. Now the multicast. Okay, now I can connect my device, my visualization, to any of those IP routers. Any of them will send me data. But this I cannot use on the internet because I'm using the multicast address. If I'm using the internet, then I can use only one, because I'm using here tunneling. Okay. I can also export the project data using this OBC server. As an example, if you go to project, export, choose OBC, then you will find that you can get this kind of data. What I'm getting the group addresses in my project, the data point type or formats, and some communication flags as well, which I can then import into my OBC server and get the reading directly. I can also export the group addresses itself. So I can import them in my server, the Visual server, and then I don't need to put manually the data that I'm getting from the ETS or from the KNX server. Okay, so I don't need to put 11116 for, let's say, a reading of something, because all the group addresses will be in my list. I can choose one of them. Okay, so it's an easier way to do business. Okay, now let's say I have in my topology more than one line, or maybe more than one area. Where should I put the visualization server or visualization software? Okay, recommended to put it in the main line if you have more than one line. If you have more than one area, then put it in the backbone line. Why should I have that? We talked about this in the coupler section, because you want to make sure that the data is traveling simply without a lot of, let's say, couplers blocking that might block it. Okay. And of course, on the main line, you have less traffic. So most you put on the main line device like visualization, like security devices, as you recall in the security chapters, you put them on the main line. Another case that we discussed during our coupler as well, that some of those visualization with their group address, the couplers will not route, okay, will route the data to the group address to the visualization, because it's not acting like a normal KNX device, because the group address might have only one group object in it. Okay, so how can I make sure that the filtering table is updated to route request to the visualization? I can do it doing two ways. One of them is manual filtering, which we showed in the coupler chapter, and we do in the practical part as well. Or you can do it using dummy objects. So some of the servers will bring you dummy objects. You put them on the ETS. So ETS will have dummy objects, which are simply related to the visualization software. So you just put the dummy object with the other object that you need to activate. So couplers will think that this is a real object, and then you start routing the data to this, coming to the group addresses or the group using those group objects to the visualization software. Okay. And this will be different from one server to another, and you can see more data on the server itself. Okay. Types of visualization. How can I get visualization? Some of the device will have visualization built in on them, like touch screens coming from KNX, so they have visualization on them, and we'll use this also in the practical part. Some we can use a mobile device, software on the mobile device, or maybe a client server based visualization, which is more suitable for bigger projects. Okay. So if you talk about that, so this is a KNX device with embedded software. So it's a normal touch screen, KNX touch screen. It has ETS interface using maybe some of them using direct ETS interface. Some of them are using plugins or DCE apps, ETS apps. Okay. Then you can configure it from this plugin or from ETS, and say that I put here, let's say a button, I put here a screen, something like that, okay? So this is a device, KNX device with embedded software on it. Or I can use, this is the same thing, or I can use a mobile app. So it's a mobile app on my mobile, okay? And my mobile is connected to the system via IP router, okay? And this mobile app, I can control the system or read the status. And this also will make in our practical part as well. We'll use the Iridium most of the time to connect to the server we have, okay? And this is how to configure it depending on the software you have, of course. And if you have a server, a small server, this is what we call a web server, then you can use one of them. And then you have a lot of devices now in the market. ABB have some, Schneider have some. There is one home server. There is a server from ComfoClick like this one. One maybe from NetX, from KNX, okay, a lot of them, okay? And the server will give you more functions. So some of the servers will be allowing you to even access other gateways or other, let's say, servers, other protocols like BACnet or Modbus, okay? Most of them will also have integration with the speakers. Most of them will have integration with the Alexa and Home Assistant, okay? They will have logic gates. This is what we always also use. So most of the time, most of the tasks that you are learning in the advanced course, you can be used like the logic, like visualization, like connecting from a system to another, can be done via a server. So in most of your projects, you will have one of the servers, okay? How can I choose my server? It depends on the system that you have. So some servers are coming with license. So if you have, let's say, 50 device, then you can buy one server. If you have 200 device, then maybe you buy another server, okay? Do you need to have interface with other, let's say, protocols like BMS protocol or BACnet? Then you need to get a server with an interface for the BACnet, okay? So this is how you choose the server, okay? And then you can choose the software. Does the software in here have more customization for the visual application, or no less customization? Then you can go with the more customized one, okay? Some of them also have a secure VPN access, so you can use them to securely access your device via the internet, okay? Though most of the servers have a lot of functions. Here you can have to configure a server. You can configure it via the web interface or via a specific app, okay? Here it is a real server. When you have bigger projects, then you have a server on a software on a server. It can be a Raspberry Pi, okay? It can be a real server, a PC or a server, and then you can have the software on this server, okay? Or the server can come with hardware and software installed on it, okay? And then it mostly used for the bigger projects, okay? Like here. Now, if you want to use only, let's say, a home assistant like Alexa voice control, then you can get a bridge like something like that. So this one, home bridge, okay? It will allow your system to access the internet and to access also, to get your system access to also buy the voice assistant like Alexa, like Google Assistant, like any of them, Siri, okay? And also you can use the application on your mobile which is connected to Alexa to access your KNX system, okay, using something like that, okay? Here it has a comparison. Here is how to configure it, okay? Difference from one server to another, one bridge to another. And here a comparison between the HomeKit, Alexa, and Google Home. This is not really accurate because those systems are being developed in a very fast way. And even that, most of those chapters are new chapters, but still this is not real, not very accurate. But you know that now you can use a bridge or a server to get your system, KNX system, to be connected to those systems as well, okay? We do this all in the practical part. So it is in real life much easier than what it looks here, okay? Because here it's mostly theory, but in the practical part it's much easier, okay? That is the visualization chapter. That's the last chapter in the KNX Advanced course. If you have any question, let me know, and we'll see you inshallah in the practical part. Assalamu alaikum.